Hey Raiders fan! Today we're diving into something every fan loves to hear about: the standout winners from the Las Vegas Raiders rookie minicamp. Yes, we'll mention a few who didn't quite shine, but let's be real. We're here to celebrate the future stars of this team. Now, before we dive into the next big update, before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Alright, now let's talk winners, because some of these young guys really turned heads. Starting off at number 5, Tommy Mellott, the wide receiver who came in and showed he belongs. This guy isn't just fast and agile, he's a student of the game. One source even called him a sponge because of how quickly he picks things up. That's the kind of dedication coaches love. He's not just some athlete with potential. Mellott can run clean routes, catch with solid hands, and he's smart. Real smart. He's the kind of player who studies Raiders history, name-dropping greats like Clem Daniels, which shows how seriously he takes the silver and black legacy. Mellott might not have the flashiest name yet, but mark this down, he's got that next Edelman type of grind in him. Coming in at number 4, we've got Dante Thornton Jr., a wide receiver who looks like he was made in a lab. Standing tall at 6 feet 5 inches and blazing down the field with 4.3 speed, Thornton doesn't just play football, he glides like a gazelle. Watching him move, it's hard not to be impressed. He came from an offense at Tennessee that didn't fully show off what he could do, but the tools are there: size, speed, and now, a real opportunity to grow. And let's not forget, he's already making a name for himself in the locker room. Teammates like him, coaches like him, and Raider Nation, you might want to keep your eye on him. At number 3, we've got big man Caleb Rogers, an offensive lineman who brings maturity and experience from day one. He's not your typical rookie. He's been through real life, even talking about raising his 5-year-old kid. That kind of responsibility shows in how he carries himself on and off the field. He's ready to do whatever it takes, play multiple positions, step up when needed, and lead with his voice. Coaches have said he's wise beyond his years, and when someone says that about a lineman, that's gold. Now let's talk more about Caleb Rogers, the offensive lineman who's starting to make waves at rookie minicamp. Here's the thing: being a leader in the NFL isn't easy, especially when you're a rookie lineman. You're not Max Crosby walking into the room with star power. You're not a quarterback like Aiden O'Connell getting all the attention. But Rogers, he's still finding a way to stand out. From the very beginning, coaches and teammates noticed how he carried himself: calm, confident, focused. He doesn't shout to be heard. Instead, he leads with effort, hard work, and attitude. That's what makes him different. He may not have come in with the flashiest draft grade, but the buzz coming out of camp says he's a lot more athletic than people gave him credit for. Some scouts are already saying, hey, don't be surprised if he becomes a key part of the O-line. Now, let's get into the real heat. The top 2 standouts from Raiders rookie minicamp. Coming in strong at number 2, bech. This guy, he's a dog. He's got that raw energy, that gritty, no-nonsense vibe you love to see in a Raider. Every time he runs a route, he brings intensity. Every time he catches a pass, you see the fire in his game. He's not just out there to play, he's out there to dominate. Watching Bech up close is a whole different experience. He doesn't look like your typical athletic superstar at first glance, but the moment the ball is snapped, he's stronger, faster, and more explosive than you expect. He's smooth in his routes, confident with his hands, and shows a surprising level of quickness. He's just a pure football player, plain and simple. Some have even started comparing him, not directly but stylistically, to Brock Bowers, the way both bring that football-first toughness. No, Bech isn't Bowers, but if you're telling me the Raiders might have landed a version of that kind of player to plug into their receiver room, that's a win. And here's something bold: Bech might outplay Trey Tucker this season. That's right, Bech may not be as flashy or as fast as Tucker, but he might be the more reliable receiver overall. Someone who can block, catch, and grind out tough yards when it matters most. Tucker's an electric athlete, no doubt, but Bech just might be the bigger impact player for this offense. Whether he's wide receiver 2 or playing a key role somewhere else, Jack Bech is giving the Raiders something real. A tough, smart, physical presence who's already showing he's ready for the spotlight. Let's get straight to the top winner on offense from Raiders rookie minicamp, and no shock here, Ashton Jeanty takes that crown. If he wasn't at the top of this list, it would have raised eyebrows. But he showed up, stood out, and looked like he belonged. Not just as a rookie, but as someone ready to compete with the pros right now. Every rep Jeanty took felt smooth, almost effortless. He moved with a kind of confidence that made you think he'd been in the NFL for years. He wasn't out there trying to prove he belonged. He was out there acting like he already does. That's the kind of mentality coaches and fans love to see. A blue-chip competitor who doesn't need to say much because his performance does all the talking. People close to the team have said Jeanty already shows leadership. He doesn't talk a lot. He just works. And that quiet, hard-nosed attitude reminds some of Colton Miller. Both guys lead by example. No flash, just focus. Now here's something else that raised eyebrows. Jeanty looked really good catching the football. Sure, he wasn't used much as a receiver at Boise State, but it wasn't because he lacked the hands. It just wasn't part of the game plan there. But now, it looks like he can do both. Pound the ball on the ground and sneak out to make a catch. That kind of versatility makes him dangerous and hard to defend. Outside of Jeanty, there were a few more names who earned some love at rookie camp. Karen Jackson and Keyshawn Smith both impressed enough to earn a spot on the Raiders' 90-man roster. These weren't highly touted signings, but now they've got their shot. And that alone is a win. Cam Miller also stood out. He looked sharper than Hodge Malik Williams at quarterback, and when two players are competing for a spot, the one who rises gets the spotlight. Miller took it. Now, while most of the focus is on the positive stories, we have to mention the ones who didn't make it. Tyreek Mallister, Dominic Boyd, and Christian Wilkerson were released. It's never easy to get cut, but this is part of the process. Training camp is about competition. Some shine, some fade. And for these three, the journey with the Raiders ends here, for now. But hey, this camp wasn't about pointing fingers. It was about seeing the future of the silver and black. And what we saw was clear. There are rookies in this group who are hungry, humble, and ready to battle. Next up, we shift to the other side of the ball, the defense. That's where things get even more interesting. Let's flip the script and talk defense, because there were some serious standouts during Raiders rookie minicamp. Coming in first on our defensive highlight list, Mellott Dotson. The energy this guy brings is contagious. One observer at camp said it best. Dotson brings the juice. That's the kind of fire you want from a young cornerback. He's not just showing up, he's elevating the intensity for everyone around him. And that matters. When you look at the Raiders' secondary, competition is wide open. Sure, some of the top names weren't on the field for minicamp, but Dotson made the most of the moment. He plays with heart, technique beyond what you'd expect from an undrafted player, and an attitude that screams, "I belong here." Even if he's not the fastest or flashiest, he's a competitor. And that's the kind of edge that can earn you a spot. Next up, J.J. Peggs, the powerful defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. One thing was clear. Peggs was having fun out there. Always smiling, but don't let that fool you. When the pads started popping, he turned up the physicality. He and Therese Hemingway were hammering the drills, trying to prove they're not just here to participate, but to dominate. What stood out most? Peggy's moves like a much smaller player. Quick feet, fast hands. That's a dangerous combo for a guy his size. It's rare to find someone that thick who can move with that kind of agility. And when he hits the line with that kind of burst, offensive linemen are going to have problems. Another guy who's hard to miss, literally, is Lachlan "Lockie" Tosi, the towering defensive tackle from the NFL's International Pathway program. This man is massive. We're talking 6'6", 350 pounds. And not just tall, but built like a brick wall. But don't let the size distract you from what really matters. Tosi showed that he's eager to learn. He asked questions, stayed active in drills, and brought a presence that's impossible to ignore. Guys like Tosi are usually long shots, but every once in a while, one of them breaks through. He might be raw, but with that size and curiosity, there's something to work with. Players like Jordan Mellott went from unknown internationals to reliable starters. And while nothing is promised, Tosi has the physical tools to start his own story. It's not just about the names we already knew. It's about the ones we're learning to watch. Dotson, Pegas, Tosi. These aren't household names yet. But at rookie minicamp, Hay played like they want to change that. They played like Raiders. And that's what this camp is about. Competing. Climbing. Claiming your shot. Next, we dive deeper into more defensive rookies who came to impress, and a few who fell short. There's no denying it. Lachlan "Lockie" Tosi is a mountain in cleats. Standing 6 feet 6 inches, weighing 350 pounds, he's got the kind of size that simply can't be taught. But here's the thing. He's not just big. He's learning. He's hungry. And that combination, that's dangerous. Tosi showed up to rookie minicamp eager to improve, asking questions, soaking everything in. And even though he's still new to the game, he moved like a guy who understands the assignment. The Raiders have been searching for a real nose tackle, someone who can anchor the middle and eat up double teams. Lockie Tosi might just be that answer. You want someone who can shut down a goal line push? Someone who can plug the run and collapse the interior of an offensive line? Tosi's got that potential. If he keeps trending in the right direction, don't be surprised if he carves out a meaningful role in this defense. Now, shifting gears to another surprise standout, linebacker Jaylon Smith. Yeah, that Jaylon Smith. At 29 years old, he was the oldest player in Raiders rookie minicamp. But guess what? He didn't just hold his own. He thrived. Smith looked healthy, moved well from sideline to sideline, and showed exactly why he was once considered one of the brightest defensive minds in college football. His experience was obvious. Smith wasn't just out there to compete, he was leading. Vocal, supportive, a presence. And when the Raiders decided to release young linebacker Amari Burney in favor of keeping Smith, that said everything. The coaching staff clearly saw what they needed. A veteran with high football IQ, a calm voice in the huddle, and someone who can still run. Smith has battled injuries for years, but if he stays on the field, this comeback story could get very real, very fast. And, finally, the name that kept echoing all weekend long, Darien Porter. Porter didn't just stand out, he separated himself. You could tell right away that he once played wide receiver. That background gave him an edge in drills, especially when tracking the ball and reacting to movement. His instincts were sharp, his footwork polished, and his overall understanding of spacing was beyond what you expect at rookie minicamp. There's a calmness to how he moves, a calculated kind of aggression. Smart, precise, and always around the ball. With players like bech and Ashton jeanty lighting things up on offense, Porter was that defensive counterpart who made you stop and take notice. He wasn't just showing potential, he was showing he's ready. This Raiders defense has a long way to go before it's finalized, but if this minicamp taught us anything, it's this. There are hidden gems in the mix. Veterans proving they've still got it, rookies hungry to earn it, and under-the-radar names ready to shake things up. When you talk about raw talent with untapped potential, Darien Porter is the name Raider Nation should keep on the radar. His press conference earlier in the week revealed a lot, not just confidence, but humility. He knows he's gifted athletically, but he's not leaning on it. Instead, he's building something deeper, the skill and discipline needed to become a real NFL corner. You watch him on the field and it's like he's gliding, effortlessly chewing up yards with every stride. But what sets him apart is the way he thinks. Being a former wide receiver gives him a unique edge. It's like he's anticipating the route before it happens, almost like he's seeing the play from the offense's perspective. That mental edge, paired with his physical gifts, makes him a fascinating player to watch develop. And when you put Porter in the same conversation as Ashton Jeanty and bech, it starts to feel like this rookie class could be something special. 3 high-upside talents, each with their own style, already turning heads. Beyond those top names, a few other defenders quietly made their case at rookie minicamp. Wesley Steiner was one of them. He not only showed up, he made the roster. And so did Jafari Harvey, whose intensity and motor were impossible to ignore. Both guys brought energy, competed hard, and earned their stripes in a tough environment. Jonathan Sutherland is another name you can't leave out. His versatility and focus helped him carve a role early, and now he's got a real chance to push for snaps once the pads come on. Now, here's where it gets interesting. 2 players who didn't even suit up at rookie minicamp might still come out as winners. Kalen DeLoach-Gaynor and Tommy Eichenberg. Neither participated. Yet with the Raiders parting ways with linebacker Amari Burney, the path has suddenly cleared. Linebacker depth is still taking shape, but the buzz around the facility is that Divine Diablo and E. Landon Roberts are likely penciled in as starters. That 3rd spot? It's wide open, and with Burney now gone, Gaynor and Eichenberg are squarely in the mix to claim it. Don't let their absence from minicamp fool you. The door is open, and the race is on. Of course, some tough roster moves followed. Burney was scooped up by the Titans. No surprise, considering his ties to their front office. Matthew Butler ended up in Miami, where he has prior connections, and Brandon Smith was released earlier in the week. That's the business side of the league, and it can move fast. But if we're talking about takeaways from Raiders rookie minicamp, here's the bottom line. Offensive standouts: Ashton Jeanty, bech, Caleb Rogers, Dante Thornton Jr., and Tommy Mellott. Defensive gems: Darien Porter, Jalon Smith, Lockie Tosi, J.J. Peggs, and Mello Dodson. That's not just a list, that's the foundation of what could be a thrilling new chapter for this team. And let's be real, for every name on that list, there are probably 2 or 3 more who quietly had a great weekend and are ready to break out in training camp. That's the beauty of a competitive environment. Talent rises, and the silver and black are paying attention.